Welcome to the shop. You've come in rather late, but how may I help you? I'm never one to turn away an eager customer. Ah, so you're not looking to buy anything? Well then, is there some other way I can be of service? Directions. So you're off to the theatre Royale, no less. Now, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but I'm afraid you've managed to go quite out of your way. I dare say you'll miss the opening curtain as well as the final bows. A shame, for sure, but since you're here, perhaps I can be of some entertainment. The Theatre Royale is fairly infamous in some circles, and since your evening plans now appear cancelled, why not stay a while and hear why? Very well then, allow me to tell you the legend of the man in grey. Most directors are able to judge the success of their work from their opening night reviews. However, the Theatre Royale has a slightly different measure. Supposedly, whenever a show is destined to have a successful run, the pale apparition of a young man in a three-cornered hat, powdered wig, and riding coat walks from one end of the upper circle to the other. Rather than exiting in a conventional manner, he instead walks straight through the wall of the upper circle, vanishing from sight. It's somewhat doubtful you would have seen him tonight, though. Apart from blessing the runs of successful shows, he is a rarity amongst the supernatural, in that he mainly appears during the daylight hours. Although unconventional, I dare say the cleaners and actors who have stumbled across him calmly sitting in the empty theatre were hardly comforted by the time of day as the spectre vanished into thin air before their very eyes. Interestingly, despite being a good omen, the man in grey's own story is far less of a happy one. A theatre has existed at that location in some capacity since the 1600s. By the time the 1800s were upon the onus, it was decided some renovations needed seeing to. Dutifully, the Victorian workers broke through the wall of the upper circle and found not the empty space they were expecting, but instead a pile of grey rags. Upon closer investigation, it was revealed that underneath the discolored remnants of clothes lay a skeleton with a knife still resting where the flesh of the chest it had been plunged into had once been. Naturally, this discovery raised more questions than it answered, but it also led to theories as to the identity of the man in grey. The most widely accepted one goes something like this. Given the decay of the clothes and the attire the spirit is said to be wearing, it's entirely possible that the man was alive during the early 1700s, some 100 years or so before his body was discovered. Whispered from generational ear to ear goes a story that corroborates this. A say that a well-off young man travelled to London in order to win the affections of one of the actresses playing on the theatre stage. Successful in his attempt, the victory was short-lived, for as soon as it was discovered, the actress's other lover was driven to madness, stabbing the young man in a fit of violent rage, right there at the theatre.
Ah!
Unsure and panicking, he did not know what to do with the body, so the murderer hid it in a small space within the building, where it was only discovered again by the Victorian workmen. Make of that story what you will, but at least it explains why the ghost chooses to drift straight through that wall. Given the young man's supposed violent end, I am happy he's managed to find peace and a kind of audience of his own in ghost hunters and curious theatre guests. It's somewhat strange. The man in grey isn't the only ghost at that theatre either. The spirits of two clowns, Joseph Grimaldi and Dan Leno, can also be found there. Quite the trio. In any case, it's getting late. I hope I managed to provide you with a little entertainment to make up for you missing your show. Take care out there. And remember, just about every building has its fair share of secrets.